that'll probably happen. But
Yeah, I was having that problem a couple weeks ago with allergies. It seems like it's gotten better though. All
good.
right, we are live. So far in the chat, we've got. This is actually kind of difficult now that I don't have two screens. I've got another window open, and I can only see like part of the comments, so I apologize in advance if we don't get to all the comments tonight. Girls Like Guns was in here. Hawaii Volcano Squad. So far, that's all. So far. So we'll see how it goes as far as viewers. So what's going on with you, man?
Not much. I've been laying low the last couple of weeks because I had a respiratory infection, so almost no videos, and I actually haven't even been watching a lot of YouTube, which is weird because I'm like way more a consumer than I am a creator, and so like I feel like I've got a whole bunch of videos in my watch later list that probably 50 videos that I need to catch up on because. That's where I get. It's funny because I know sometimes I need to step away from YouTube to get inspiration, but a lot of times I really like seeing what other people are doing, and that motivates me to stay active and stuff. So
Yeah, I get that. Totally get that.
but how are you? What you been up to?
I've had the last basically 2 weeks off of work, so because I put in my 2 weeks notice my old job, and they pretty much told me that was my last day. But they paid me all the way through this Friday, so
Nice. Well, that's good.
yeah,
Sure.
right? Like, oh, thank you for the paid vacation. I appreciate that. And I start the new one on Monday. Well, the new old job, we'll call it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've just been kind of. My kids are on spring break this week, so we've been hanging out and doing stuff, going to the zoo and some movies, and
Great.
yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, it's
Yep.
been finally warming up around here. We had it was weird when I was sick. It snowed. And it was pretty much as late as it ever snows here. Right at the end of March, and then it all melted, and it was like 75 degrees a day. So it's been nice. I'm kind of looking forward. I started looking at some of my camping gear and just kind of starting to talk to the kids about doing stuff outside again. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Our weather's been nice until like today. It dropped all the way down to like 48 or something. It's been in the
So weird
60s
and
and 70s. Yeah. And when I was out, I just got home from baseball practice with my son. I'm coaching his team. Well, I'm helping coach his team this year.
Oh, cool. That's great.
And we got home, and I'm like, is it snowing outside? And it was like snowing. I'm like, what the heck? We were just outside playing baseball, and then now it's snowing. Okay. That's Utah, man. Utah spring is weird. We've had snow up all the way until Memorial Day before.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Like, it'd be nice, and all of a sudden Memorial Day comes and it starts snowing. I'm like, what the flip?
Are you born and raised in Utah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's. I think it'd be a great place to live. Definitely, the climate is probably. Is it unpredictable throughout the whole year? I guess it depends, like where you are.
No, it's the summer's warm, and this winter was super mild. Like, it's usually a pretty predictable winter as far as getting snow and cold, but it was pretty warm and mild winter, and spring is the one that you just never know what's going to happen. So.
Right. Yeah, it's like that here in Iowa, but Iowa in general is a lot more temperate than Minnesota, where I grew up. It seemed like you'd never know how humid things are going to get during the summer, and during the winter, of course, it can get pretty cold. So, but anyway, so. That's good. I've been enjoying your videos lately. All those ZT vids, man. Oh my gosh.
They're making
pretty
me
good.
broke. I'm seriously so broke for knives and stuff, man.
I'm like holding back buying all these ZTs because I'm like, someone's gonna come out and finally say that there are problems with them. And it's just not happening. It's not happening at all. Like, it's not going to happen, I don't think.
No, I don't foresee any issues with any of the models I got. So. Yeah, I'm actually carrying.
Go ahead. No, and the more that I'm seeing them, yeah. So what do you got there?
The 392. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later, but the Blackwatch version went on sale today.
I know. Yeah, I know. I just didn't have the money for it. Did you pull the trigger on any?
No, you had to be super lucky to even get one. There was even less of that model than there is
Oh,
of the original.
okay. Okay.
So I looked at Blade HQ. 10:02 was completely sold out. So like what, 2 minutes. It started went on sale at 10 my time. So 10:02 they were completely sold out. Going Gear, when I went on their website, they said they had 10 in stock. And I was like, what? So I just for fun, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put one in my cart, and it said, sold out. I'm like, you guys need to update your crap better, man. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And House of Blades the same way. It's like in stock, and then I put it in my cart, and it was like we ran out of quantity, and the same kind of problem they had last time. Everyone, like Knife Center, I've heard a few people get emails saying there's no guarantee you'll get a knife if you put an order in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? What are you guys doing? Like, GP Nice got GP Nice wasn't even on the list this time. They got booted.
Oh, really? Wow, dang, that's crazy.
And their website crashed last time, so
Yeah,
I wasn't really trying. I thought, if I can get one, I might get one, but I'm totally happy with this one, and I want to get some different hardware for it eventually. So, but you
Are
can
you
buy
still
that.
carrying it like crazy, or are you mixing it up with the other ones you got?
No, I haven't carried it. Today's the first time I've carried it in a long time because I've had so many other models to review and stuff.
Yeah,
So it's,
right. Mm-hmm.
I've been carrying the 808 a lot. I freaking love that one.
That thing, your review on that was like a big eye opener for me because I thought it was a lot bigger than it is. I mean,
No, it's nearly identical in size to the 450. It's just as far as length is concerned, the width it's definitely wider in the hand, and
sure, yeah.
it's heavier. It's got a more weight to it than the 450.
Yeah, but I mean, that thing looks pretty gnarly for the size that it is. Like,
I think it's perfect, man. I wouldn't want it any bigger. I freaking love it. It's like optimal size in my opinion. But
I wrote it off just because I assumed it'd be huge. I don't know why, I guess, but now I'm like, I don't know if I want the 450 or the 808, or if I just need to get both like you or something and see which one I like or something.
yeah, I liked the 450 a lot. I got the 808, and that's all I've been carrying lately. And man, I don't know what one I like better because I started carrying the 450 a little bit today, but I was like, you know what? I haven't given the 392 any love, and the fact the other one came out today, I'm like, I'll carry it because I know it'll make me feel better about not getting the Black Watch version.
That's great.
Yeah,
I mean, one thing about the 808, like, I mean, people talk about it being really futuristic looking, but like, I feel like it's actually a really well composed knife. Like, a lot of like elements seem to be really well tied together. Like the way that, like the way that the lines are carried across the scale from the Zero Tolerance brand to the screws on the other side. Like, there's just a number of aspects that I'm like, yeah, definitely Rexford. You can see the Rexford touch, like, the real attention to detail. And I think, I mean, the Sinkovich 450 really looks cool to me, but it's so simple. It's kind of like, I mean, does it seem as simple as it is in person as it is in the pictures? Like,
yeah, it's pretty basic, man. You got titanium stonewash scales. There's not a lot of, I mean, there's the contouring for the the ergonomics. You got those finger
right.
twirls and stuff.
Right.
But other than that, no, it's pretty basic.
Are you happy with those two choils?
It's super comfy for my hands.
Okay.
Very, very comfy. Yeah, it's actually more ergonomic than the 808, I think. But the 808 just feels better in the hand to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the extra heft. Even though that's kind of weird to say that 450 is more ergonomic, but the 808 feels better in the hand. It just feels more.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Substantial. Yeah. So I think they fill completely different roles. I think the 450 is more of an office. If you work in an office environment, you're wearing slacks, or you know what I mean, you need a smaller knife that's lightweight, then that's a perfect knife. The 808 is definitely more of a everyday carry, like any kind of kind of wear, really. So I do like it a little bit better. I like the blade shape a little bit better on the 808 too. So, and the polished titanium backspacer is really cool. Like, it's begging to be anodized, man. That knife.
Oh,
I've been seeing. Do you follow Blades We Love on Instagram?
Yeah. The guy does.
Man, that guy does amazing work, and he's got he's done a bunch of 808s already, and some 450s, and some 0900s.
Yeah.
The 450 I think is better left the way it is because it's just kind of a clean, plain titanium look. Whereas like the 808 has, and the 0900 has kind of those contrasting lines, so it's like you can do kind of a two-tone, which I've seen him do on the Anno, and it looks amazing. So.
I thought the like fade, the like sunset kind of look on the 808 looked really awesome. I'm just checking out his Instagram right now, and like that one I thought just was amazing. You were definitely right. The 808 is like a super blank slate. I mean, as far as milling goes, being as big as it is, it seems like that will invite different options as well. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I almost feel like it's like what's the phrase? The embarrassment of riches with ZT's lineup this year, because like I think that the prospect of having to decide between the 450 and the 808 in the same year at the same time is like frankly really surprising to me, and it's kind of still messing with my ZT stereotypes, because I still think of like the 0200 or something when I think of ZT, or I think like, oh, do I want my 0350 with tiger stripes or not? Like, so like having all these like really fresh designs, it's like, I mean, I take things in pretty slowly, frankly, but like I'm still reeling from like the different options that are out there.
It's ridiculous how many they come out with, and I've said that on all these videos. I've said it's not even the end of the first quarter, and we've had all those knives announced, all of them. I'm going to say that one more time. All of them that were announced at Blade or at SHOT Show are out in 3 months.
Yeah,
that's insane. And then they announced on USN that they have more coming out for Blade Show.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Yeah,
are you killing me? And like, give me a break. It's like it's hard to afford all of these. I've ended up having to sell a couple of them just to buy more of them, just to get them in for review, and I'm glad I have. Definitely gotten some good views out of those videos, and I like to. Let me grab them real quick. You got my I feel like I need to get my hands on them. Hold on a second.
No, it's cool. Go ahead.
All right, sorry about that.
No problem. That's cool.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about the 450, and let's see if I can get it in frame. Oh, that's the clips. There we go. See, the scale is just pretty much flat and plain. You know what I mean? Just kind of. You do have, like I said, the nice choils and stuff in your hand, but like the 808 has some chamfering on it. Right. So I think it just cries out, and you can see those chamfered, and it just cries out for more customization, I think, than the 450. Plus, the titanium backspacer is a really cool touch. It's polished now. Yeah,
that's really interesting. Like that seems like that's one thing that absolutely like milling that, doing like an ANSO pattern or something with that would look super awesome, like right away.
Yeah, and I'd say out of the box it's smoother than the 450, but it doesn't flip as good. The detent is not as strong, which some people might like that. Some people have kind of been having an issue this year with some of ZT's knives, like the 452. The detent is really strong because the detent on this sucker is really the 450.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah,
it just rockets out. It's really quite stiff almost, but it's not. It's good because it flips so well.
Yeah, right. It's a trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the 808, I've never had it fail. Like it's on bearings, it's gonna flip. It's just a totally different feel. So I like them both. I'm not super picky when it comes to flippers, as long as the knife flips open and doesn't not lock up, like if it just
right. Sure, yeah.
But it's super smooth, so I don't see why they would. I mean, the 392 is kind of more like the 9 or the 450. It's not as stiff as a detent though. It's actually perfect, really. I mean,
yeah.
It really has like the perfect flipping action, I think. So it's kind of in between the two of them. But
I think a couple other people have said that in other YouTube videos, just about how good the flipping action is on it. Like,
it's literally like they dialed it in. But you got to think. I mean, it's a what? How many pieces were made? A couple hundred max of the 392.
Yeah.
And so they have a lot more time to really dial it in, whereas the mass production knives like these,
Yeah.
I'm sure they differ from a model to model. Like this one might be a stiff detent.
Yeah.
Because like my 452 carbon fiber was really like quite perfect actually. It was more like I would say it was more like my 808. And some people said, I can't even open this flipping thing. It's so strong.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And a lot of times I think
were like, it's exactly like the original 0454, you know, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that, frankly. I mean, I didn't have any reason to think that it would be the same.
No, it really is like, because I owned a 454 and it's stinking close, man. It's like, for the money is one of the best buys, you know. But that's where the 450 kind of still floors me. Is it was $160. It's like, what?
Where'd you buy it from?
Kershaw Guy.
Oh, Kershaw Guy. Okay, right on.
I got all of them from Kershaw Guy this year, I think, except for the 392, which came directly from Kai.
Okay, cool.
I got my 808, my 0900. Yeah, I got them all from Kershaw Guy. He's kind of my go-to dude because I can email him ahead of time and just kind of chat with him. I've been buying knives from him for years now, and he'll just give me a heads up a lot of times when the new models come in.
That's great.
And he got these before anyone did. I mean,
is that right? Wow.
Yeah, he had them days before anyone did. When I posted pictures on Instagram, people were like, "What? Like, how do you already have that?" I'm like, Kershaw Guy. But I don't want to tell them that because that's like, and here I am on national YouTube. Letting the cat out of the bag, dang it! Should have kept it on the DL.
Well, that's what the reward of having the people who are joining this chat. That's their reward, is hearing some of these secrets.
Right, because that's the go-to guy. I mean, he doesn't always get everything first, but for the most part, he got to understand he's in Oregon. So as far as like getting the shipment of new knives, because what happens is, we kind of gotten this feedback from Thomas over on USN, is that they pretty much just ship out a batch of knives to dealers at once.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like Blade HQ and Going Gear and Knife Center, and all of them are going to get the same shipment at the same time, or not get it, but it's going to be shipped out mostly. Most likely.
Yeah.
And Dave is kind of high on that list because he's local and he's Kershaw Guy. So yeah, I think he just gets them like within a day because he's in the same state. So knife ship free, a lot of times they'll get pretty fast shipments too because they're in Oregon also.
Yeah.
They're actually they're up the road from Kershaw.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're very close.
I didn't realize that.
Dave's a couple hours away. He's in I believe he's in oh my gosh, where's University of Oregon? I can't think of the freaking town. I live there. Not in the town, but I live by there. Do you know where University of Oregon is? I can't. Just totally drawing a blank.
Yeah, I don't know.
I keep thinking Bend, but it's definitely not Bend, Oregon. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll think of it. But he's down there where the U of O is, and Kershaw's up by Portland. So.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, they're all awesome. I'm glad I own them all. I don't anticipate getting rid of any of them.
Yeah. Right.
I really like. I mean, I just like the size of these knives. They're like perfect, man. I'm having a hard time carrying the 392 because it's so much bigger and heavier.
Right.
Even though it's like a perfect specimen of a knife, in my opinion. These are just seeing more pocket time, and I like carrying them more just because they're smaller.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. You're taking your kid to a zoo or something. I mean, having a big knife is always like a bit of you roll the dice.
Yeah, and I don't feel like these knives, even though like the 450 skyrockets out of there, I just feel like it's small enough and discreet enough that people wouldn't bat an eye at it. It's kind of like a slip joint. I mean, it's obviously bigger than a slip joint is, but
it's about the same size as a small Sebenza, right?
It is, yeah. If you watch those videos, I did comparisons with the small subs. Yeah, it's a little slightly bigger, but yeah, it's like perfect EDC size knives. I really like you mentioned, ZT's old. You thought of ZT, you thought of the 0300, 10 ounce beast, and you thought of the 560, which is a good size knife, and I really like the way they're going this direction because I think they're going for that more EDC friendly size, but still keeping their overbuilt you know what I mean, kind of.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, it seems like at least in the case of the uh, the 0350, that one is still a very slow little knife, even though it's definitely an EDC. It's definitely not overbuilt. I mean, because like even the stock of the blade like is pretty middle of the road, right? Like it's not like a really crazy thick blade or anything, right?
no, 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 no.
I mean, and I mean that's the thing is I mean overbuilt as a knife philosophy only gets you so far. I mean, and it can easily. I mean, we can think of more than one custom maker who I think they've put themselves in a corner because all they do is overbuilt, and and that really, I mean, I'm not going to buy an overbuilt knife over an alternative that is going to be not overbuilt and more usable. You know, have better cutting geometry. You know, be more pocketable. Like those are very desirable things to me. So
I think they are to most people. I would say that the overbuilt knife is more, and like you mentioned, custom. It seems like so many custom makers have gone that route,
yeah,
and it's nice to see like Todd. I mean, I don't think Todd Rexford's ever been like overbuilt kind of. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you can see that in his design. Sinkovich is very like slim, streamlined. Even though the 454 is a big knife, it's
mm-hmm.
so light and thin in the handle. You know what I mean? So it's like it's way pocketable, like you mentioned, even though it's a big knife. But yeah, you're looking at like the Ramon Chavez Redemption, and I've got a Andre De Villers Butcher here that's on loan from a friend.
Oh wow, dang, yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
Sucker is huge, man. It's like this thing is a tank. I put it in my pocket one day, and I'm like, I do not like carrying this. This is not a pocketable knife. I mean, the jimping's really rough in a lot of places. I'm just like, I don't understand the pull to these kind of knives. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's
So
all, you know, I mean, you're talking about collecting. I mean, why would some guy collect, you know, Packers football cards when you could collect Vikings football cards? Like, you
yeah,
know, sometimes it's personal taste and it comes down to it. But insofar that you're talking about a tool, I mean, it then it seems like you're really. It seems implausible to me that something like the butcher is going to be a more useful knife in 99% of the situations you're running into. And I mean, I can understand guys who have, you know, 50 knives in their collection. They want just something different. They want to mix it up and have that style of blade profile or whatever, and that's cool. But at least I'm not at a point where I've got that much variety. I still have to have knives that I'm going to actually be able to use when I decide to carry it. You know.
yeah, and that's why I don't like. Not correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really put us in that collector
Yeah. Yeah,
group.
for sure.
I'd
No.
say more enthusiast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not to say that collectors don't use their knives, but there's probably a lot of them that don't use their knives. Like that's they just
Why
collect them.
would you? I mean, if you're Jim Skelton, you have a $2,000 knife. Like, that thing is probably an heirloom. I mean, or could conceivably be, you know, irreplaceable if it got damaged or you know. I mean, I think that probably the best really high-end customs are probably made to a level that they're still highly functional, but you don't buy a knife with, I mean, Damascus and whatever. I mean, you know, Damascus scales or whatever. You know whatever crazy materials you can think of, with the idea of like, oh, great, this is gonna replace my box cutter.
Exactly right.
uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, I kind of think like the way I got it. I don't know. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts about this too. But like for me, I got into the knife hobby kind of graduating from like the pure user, like the guy who goes to the sporting goods store and buys what he guesses is probably the best knife. Like, okay, so I'm going to buy a Benchmade knife because I like my Benchmade multi-tools. Oh, wait, the Benchmade knife sucks, so maybe I'll try CRKT or SOG or Kershaw or whatever. And then, like, finally, after having enough of those, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to amass a collection of these. What do I actually just like? You know? I mean, it's kind of a very different process than, like, I'm starting off like I'm an art collector and I need to have this perfect collection of examples of pieces from my favorite makers, like and now I'm going to show you my Picasso collection in the basement, like it's just
Yeah,
very.
no, that's
Um,
it's
I
pretty
don't know.
spot
How was
on,
it
man.
for
I
you?
just
How'd
love
you
it.
get into it, dude?
Same way. I mean, my first knife, well, not my first knife, but my first like knife that kind of pushed me into this hobby was a Kershaw Needs Work that I bought at Walmart.
Oh, right on. Yeah, sure.
And I wanted to start carrying a knife more frequently, and I liked the speed safe on it, like the Warncliffe blade, which back then I didn't really even know what a Warncliffe blade was, and I just it was a cool knife, but it had a lot of utility. I carried it every day. I used it all the time. You know what I mean, for everything.
Right
And
on.
that's kind of when I was like, man, I can't believe how useful having a knife in my pocket is. I didn't used to always carry it every day, and now it's like I obviously feel naked without having one on me, but in that same, like you mentioned, you've kind of settled down, I would say. I was the same way. When I started with the Needs Work, I started buying more Kershaws, and I had like a ton of different blurs and different colors just to collect them all. And
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean? And then I kind of like sold off a bunch of those and moved on to ZT and Spyderco, and you know what I mean? I just moved all around, and I've sold and bought like hundreds of knives probably, and the slip joints have kind of taken a back seat for me lately just because of all these new ZT models are like so much more EDC friendly knives. I don't feel like I need to have a slip joint with me also.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I like carrying a slip joint around with a modern knife just for fun, but it's complete wretched excess. It's like there's no reason at all. There's no rhyme or reason why I would need to do that. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of am just glad that there's so much stuff going on that you can have that kind of ebb and flow. Like I mean, I've been looking really hard. Tom Crine, the custom guy.
Yeah.
All of the regrinds that he's been doing on traditionals have been like really enticing for me, but I just haven't found like the one example that like when he says, okay, this is for sale, that I need to pull the trigger on it right then and there. But like, I mean,
I sold him a knife.
oh, you did, nice, cool,
Yeah, I
that's great,
sold him one of my Barlows that we just got in that shipment. I sold one of those to him.
cool,
Yeah, I think it
yeah,
was the red clip point he bought.
hmm,
I was
very
like, "Ooh,
interesting.
Tom Crine, what? What?" Like I was like when I was doing the shipping label, I'm like, holy cow, you're like the kind of
The
famous.
man,
Like,
yeah, right,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. No,
it's
I
cool.
had I'm looking it up right now. I had an interaction on my Facebook with custom knife maker, and I didn't even realize it until I was done. I felt really stupid because it was a guy that I didn't realize was a custom knife maker. Um, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna find it. Custom slip joint maker. It wasn't LaRue. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Um, Man, shoot, I've got the message. I've just got a whole. You know how it is. You got 5 billion messages on here.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, yeah. So it's just it's pretty cool actually. I like how awesome people are about just Tracy LaRock. There you go. I was messaging back and forth about one of the old HSBs that I sold, and it wasn't until afterwards I'm like, oh, that's the Tracy LaRock who's like making custom slip joints, and I've like thought about buying them. It was ridiculous. Um, but I had interactions with Gene Wiseman over Facebook that were really friendly. Like he just seems like a normal guy. I just kind of wrote him. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook, and I sent him a message just saying, "Hey, I really like your work. Hoping to pick up something from you someday." And he just wrote back. He was like, "Hey, thanks. I really appreciate it." And I don't know. We've said some, but I dig that big time. So I mean,
Yeah,
anyway.
there's some good. It's interesting. Les George is pretty active on our ZT group that I'm part of.
Wow, awesome! Dang, that's
Also,
awesome.
he'll comment on something. I'm like, wait, Les George, like the Les George, like the knife maker Les George,
Yeah,
and he's because of
like
that.
he's like real legendary. Like he's been around the block a few times. Like that guy is
Yeah.
awesome.
So that's cool, like I've had some interaction with him, and everyone's like, whoa, that's so cool, you come by our little Facebook group, you know what I mean? Like
Right, right.
it's nice to see those makers like be interactive with their fans and and just regular knife guys. Like they're like you said, they're just normal dudes. It's kind of funny when you think about it because You don't think of them like that, but they all are. You know, they're just
Well,
guys
and
that.
like the best of them, like they're just knife guys and enthusiasts themselves, you know, and they probably are enjoying being able to connect with people in a different way than just doing business, you know. Like, I think that was one thing that I've thought about. Like, if I ever like, I don't have any skills, so it's not going to happen. But like, if I ever ended up selling products or something, like transforming into the business person selling your wares would be challenging probably sometimes because like you just still want to just be able to enjoy everything, you know.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. So, anything else you know that's going on in the knife world right now that's new and exciting, or?
Well, did you see all the Amsterdam releases for Spyderco? Did we talk about that last time?
We did, yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, there was some good
um,
stuff there.
yeah, well, and, yeah, the Rosenti is definitely. I'm pretty stoked about that. I don't know.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be.
pricey.
It's gonna be. Let's predict how much you think it's gonna be. My guess is 465.
Yikes!
You think
I
it'll
don't
crack
know.
500? I think it's gonna be
I
easily over
I
4.
hope it's around 4. But looking at what because it's an integral lock, or an integral
Yeah, right.
beam. But if you look at like what Lion Steel's been able to do with like the tie spine and
Yeah,
the SR2 and SR1 and titanium, they come in right under $400. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
they should be able to make it around that price point. I think. I don't think.
What's the blade steel on those line steels? Do you know?
Oh, they used to be D2. Now they're going to like Sleipner steel. It's like a
Oh, it's
German
like
steel.
okay, it's European. So,
Yeah,
because you know the Rosenti
it's
Spyderco.
LMAX on the tie spine. Sorry, it's LMAX on the tie
Oh,
spine.
okay, right
Yeah,
on. No, that's cool. It's gonna be S90V on the Rosenti, which I think that could be also a factor for price.
yeah.
Or at least on the prototype, it's S90V. So, um,
But it's Taiwanese, right? It's not you. It's not golden.
yeah, that's true. That is
So
true.
hopefully they can draw. But I mean, again, on the other side, look how expensive their other models have been coming out of there. So
Yeah, I
I
mean
think
that's the thing is
probably
like,
450 is probably right. You know
I
what I
mean
mean?
how much was the Rubicon initially? Wasn't that like 380 or
It was
390?
around. No. It was like 300.
Oh, 300. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not remembering that
The
correctly.
Slice Bowie was around 300.
Okay.
The Southern
Oh.
was like 250, 260 ish. Um, so I think 450 would be the max. I would hope they would charge for that thing. That's you know what I mean. That's a
That'd be
lot.
pretty intense. Like that's definitely like getting right into mid-tech territory. And
Yeah, that's for sure mid-tech territory. I mean, I'm thinking I paid less for my custom Jason Clark, and that was a full custom. You
oh
know?
yeah, right. Yeah, Jason Clark has really cheap. I mean, really affordable compared to other customs, doesn't he? Like I've seen
Yeah,
a number of stuff for sale. It seems like it's a really. Hmm.
yeah, he's
But
definitely. Yeah, it's be interesting. I'll be curious to see. I think they're definitely appealing to more to the collector than they are the normal everyday guy.
I don't think most guys would even know what an integral lock is right away. At first, you might just think like, "Oh my gosh, what a freaking expensive frame lock!" And then, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know. Um, I hope that I hope that they all are perfect because I'm really excited about it. But um, did you see the 2-part series that Blade HQ did on the Spyderco Shop tour?
no, that's on my list of watch videos. Also, I haven't gotten to it yet.
I enjoyed it and I thought it was very interesting. I was definitely not like blown away by the shop itself, actually. I mean, it was obviously the Golden Shop, and like there were plenty of. I mean, in my opinion, there were plenty of shots where I was like, "Wow, that does not look like a super clean studio setup or something." Because, I mean, at least compared to the Chris Reeve one, or even like I'm not a Medford guy, as you know, but like Medford shows a lot of detailed shop videos, and like he's got a really clean, nice looking shop. And from what I could ascertain, it looked like it was a working shop. From what I could tell, they had some pretty cool stuff. Like there was one part where they showed they had this robot that was uh, sharpening knives. Um, which I was really weird. I didn't realize it actually. I mean, it was like one of those robots that they would use for like assembling a car or something. It looks like, and there was like friggin' going really fast, and so.
That would explain some of the random grinds people have with some of the.
Yeah, right.
Wait, was this sharpened by a person or R2D2?
Right, R2D2. Beep, all beep, beep.
C-3PO had his hands on that one. That would explain that.
C-3PO freaked out when he was sharpening that knife, and that's what happened. But yeah, you should watch it because, I mean, it was a really good series. It gave a lot of history on the company and kind of did a good job of kind of incorporating how Sal envisioned the company and then how Eric's taking over. But it didn't actually go into a ton of detail about the manufacturing process. And I mean, it was just interesting. It was a good series, but it was definitely one that I think that there's a lot. It's fodder for conversation, probably.
I've seen the videos posted. I haven't had a chance to look at them. My last video I played a few that I watched was their April Fool's video, which was really funny.
Yeah, that was. That was so great because I really went in there thinking like, oh, it's got a lot of views because people are gonna be freaking pissed about whatever they say, and then I like immediately, as soon as 2 minutes into the video, you realize it's an April Fool's video.
They also posted that knife for sale on their website for $1 million.
Oh, they did. That's
custom out the front pocket lightsaber. It was so awesome. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll give you guys props. I'll give you props for that.
I had to laugh too because another gear joke that I thought was really funny was Prometheus design. The Patrick Ma's new thing after he left Triple Hot Design.
Yeah.
He was posting rocks for sale for $1,000. It was so funny because it's totally like making fun of like the fanboy, like, oh, you'll buy anything of ours because it's a Prometheus thing, and they had like small, medium, and large. And the funniest thing is, I think some dude was posting on the Prometheus Facebook group how he bought a $1,000 rock. And I mean, I think he's probably just running with the joke because they're not going to process the order, obviously. But
yeah,
it was
that's
good.
So funny. Yeah, there are some funny ones out there. Your try to Sabenza flipper was pretty funny too, by the way.
Oh man, well, what's funny? I have. Speaking of that, yeah, that was a horrible Photoshop. But I want to show you something kind of weird. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this on the camera. So I've got my small Sabenza here, but watch this if I can get it right. Did you see that? I just front flipped my Sabenza.
No, I didn't. I kind of saw you. Yeah, it's kind of.
Let me try to do it again. Let me try to do it. Like so see this little tab right here?
Yeah.
Like, I bet that if you got some guy to pimp this, you could make this the front flipper. Because look, you can easily just flip this open. Like, watch. See, I'm not even anywhere near the thumb studs, but
yeah,
I didn't get it that time. See that? Like that, the locking gauge. Like, so that's weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not enough that you can open it. I can open mine with my thumb, like a front flipper. If I get it, I see like that. And then I have to come around and use the thumb stud. But that's okay. So now we're in the weird part of the chat because who's going to pimp a Sabenza so that it's a front flipper? Probably not me.
I'm surprised it hasn't been done though, because even though they're expensive knives, they're pretty common. So it's like I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet. That's interesting.
It would not be a hard thing to mod the scales for it. I mean, I don't know how you could do it in a way that isn't horribly ugly. I mean, that's the thing, like the Dietz mod on all the Quakens, like natural, like it looked awesome. So, but yeah, it was one day I was just messing around with this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can open this without using the thumb stud. It's just like, oh, this is weird.
And you know what's funny about that? Kind of the other way around is people are complaining all the time that ZT puts these blade stops instead of thumb studs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is obviously a Hinderer design,
Right. Yeah. Right.
But you can open this knife with those thumb studs. It's not impossible. You just can't put any pressure on the lock bar to do it. So I just did it. I didn't flip it. That was thumb stud. They're really not designed to be thumb studs. It's a flipper. So it's kind of funny that you're like, oh, this thumb stud knife I can flip, and people are like, I can't use a thumb stud on this flipper. You know, it's like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
no, but you're doing it all wrong, okay? It's
I
not
mean,
designed that way.
it's so funny. Like, I mean, I think we've all been at the point where, like, the first time you handle an Axis lock, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whenever it was, you're like, how does this even work? But it still definitely happens all the time where people are like, I can't figure out this knife. What the heck? And I'm like, have you opened a knife like that before? Um,
Yeah,
but
that's like one of the easiest locks to use. Oh my gosh.
I
Like,
know, yeah, it's so funny. Um, yeah, what's his name? Apostle P. Is it Rob
Rob,
Bixby?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he took off the flipper tab on one of his hinderers, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he just bought a hinder without a
Oh,
flipper.
is that right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like, I want a hinder, but I'm not getting a flipper because he likes thumb studs, which,
Right.
whatever, you know what I mean?
That's old school. That's old school. That's kind of like saying like I like manual differentials in a truck or something. Like, okay, that's cool. I mean,
No,
um,
I like flippers better personally. I mean, I just think it's easier and more fun. You know what I mean? But thumb studs are great too. I mean, even the thumb disc on the 630 and the 620 are awesome to use. You know,
hmm
so it's nice to have variety. But I'm definitely a flipper guy. That's no doubt about it.
I just don't have preferences strong enough that I can say like, oh my gosh, I definitely like one more than the other. I mean, uh, yeah, I guess I'm kind of I have a hard time. I've thought about that before. I'm like I have a really hard time deciding like, oh, I prefer one because that's the thing is like I might say, oh yeah, I really like thumb studs, and then the next knife I'll pick up will have bad thumb stud design. I'll be like, oh, I freaking I cannot even handle this.
Well,
Um,
that's interesting to bring up design because that is a big part of it. And the flipper design is really important too. Like if you don't design the flipper right, then the knife's not
oh
going to flip
yeah,
very well.
I didn't like flippers for years because the only one I ever had used was the the M16, and that one was not good at all. Like I've talked about before here. So
Yeah, no,
uh,
there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more that goes into getting the detent perfect for a flipper. That rather than a thumb stud knife, I think they're easier to manufacture. I would think the
yeah,
thumb studs. Um, there's still a detent involved, obviously, but like you could, it's not as crucial as a flipper because we've had bad flippers that have like zero detent. Like what knife did I have that had no detent? The what is his name? It's called the Azrael. There's Will Zeremu. Oh my gosh, how do you say his freaking name, dude?
I'm
It's
not
called the
sure what
Azrael.
you're talking about.
He's a custom knife maker. Will Zeremu Azrael was the name of the knife. It's pretty popular.
Hmm.
Zero detent, like none. Like you could shake the knife open and it's a flipper. I'm like, what? This is the worst flipper I've ever had. I'm like, you could flip it and it would just go. Bleh. it was like I don't know. I almost said something inappropriate. I'm glad I didn't. Caught myself on that one. But no detent. But then you have knives that like the detent's so crazy strong you can't even flip the knife open.
Right,
There's
right.
definitely a lot of science involved there. So and the tab has to be the right way. Like the tab on the 808 doesn't stick out as far as the 450, and I like that on the 450 better. You just can easily get purchase on it. It's got some good jimping and it just flies open.
hmm
But not that the 808's hard. It's just it's not as prominent, so it's a little more difficult. But it's again not difficult at all to use. It's just one of those preference things, I guess. So, but anyway, let's move away from knives a little bit. Let's talk about those smartwatches a little bit, like we mentioned before.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Still haven't got my hands on one. I want to, but been buying knives and guns lately. So,
Guns?
yeah. Have you not seen my KSG video?
I saw that you posted. I didn't see it. It's
I got the KSG shotgun.
congratulations. Is it awesome or?
It is really cool, man. It's a beast. It is pretty cool design. They finally dropped in price to a reasonable amount and more vendors have them. More FFLs have them in stock. So, yeah, I think it's where it should be, maybe even less. But I don't think I did. I paid around $800 for it, which is like they used to be like over $1,000. You know what I mean? So I think they sell down in price. They're really cool though. I mean, it's a fun gun to shoot. It's a lot of power, man. And the bullpup design I've always been a fan of bullpups because you're taking the same size barrel that's on a normal like home defense shotgun, like an 18.5-inch barrel, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you've got an overall short compact package that is like it's like the size of a short barreled shotgun. It's like
totally
kind of like having an SBS or an SBR if you're talking like a Tavor or something.
Yeah.
But you get the full size barrel, so you're not losing ballistics, you're not losing a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
And one of the issues with shotguns is capacity, man.
Right, for sure, yeah.
Pumps or even your traditional tube style automatics that have a tube magazine, they lose a lot of capacity. It's part of the design, you know.
If you have high capacity, it's usually very awkward. It's going to affect the balance of the gun dramatically. And
yeah, or it's a magazine fed shotgun like a Saga 12 or that AR style shotgun I had. But the KSG is it's a cool design, man. I mean, you got 2 tubes, you got 15 rounds on hand, 7-inch chamber plus 1 in the 7-inch tube magazine tube plus 1 in the chamber. That's a lot of power.
See the video. Has it been accurate and reliable for you?
Yeah, I had 2. They said there is a little bit of a break-in period with them. I had 2 shells that wouldn't extract like very well. I had to kind of give them some good force to get them out, but they were just some cheap Federal birdshot. All the buckshot, all of the slugs, I shot no problems at all.
Cool.
I shot. You need to watch that because there's these cool little I thought I had one handy. They make these little Aguila ammo makes these little mini shotgun shells.
Really? Wow.
They're I think 2 inches, and they make a slug and a buckshot load. So the KSG can fit 22 slugs.
That's ridiculous.
I think it's 20 and then 24 of the buckshot because they're a little bit shorter.
What are the ballistics with like those things?
Okay, so in my video I linked in the description a channel Chaos Clarity. Have you heard of Chaos Clarity?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. 311 Clarity or whatever.
Yeah, 311 Clarity. Yeah. So him and Hank Strange and a couple of different big gun channels have actually tested them, and Chaos did a ballistics test on those suckers, man. They are not to be messed with. Like the slug went through a drywall, like a sheet of drywall. He's like kind of simulated a wall.
Okay.
And behind the wall, he had a 12-inch ballistic gelatin block.
Wow.
And that slug penetrated the wall right through the ballistic. Just no.
Oh my gosh! Wow, dang, crazy.
So they're nothing to be messed because they have a full powder charge. They're just throwing a smaller slug or a projectile.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay.
Very interesting. The buckshot didn't penetrate the block, but it went almost did. It went like all 12 inches plus to the wall, so it was pretty nasty stuff too. And
wow.
That's a lot.
You said 22 rounds?
It'll hold 22, yeah, of those.
That's freaking insane.
And they're that powerful. I mean, they'll go right through a wall and ballistic shell, like the whole. I mean, yeah, you're gonna put someone down with one of those little slugs, and they are like this big. They're like
that's hilarious. I gotta definitely check that out. What are they called again?
Aguila mini slugs or mini shells.
Like right, that friggin' that's weird.
Yeah, dude, they're fun. Like my FFL he stocks them just because he sells the KSGs, and he has a KSG himself, and he's like, you gotta shoot these little shells, they're so fun, and they have like 0 recoil, dude. It's like this little pop. That's why I was like, oh, these aren't for real though, like that. But then watching those ballistic tests, I was like, holy crap, like.
That's crazy.
You do not want to get shot with one of those suckers, man.
I wonder, like, this would also probably not be like a real world application, but like, I wonder what kind of distance accuracy you could get with those slugs. Like, I mean,
I was shooting at 25 yards, and it was very accurate. They were very accurate.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Oh, and Military Arms Channel just did a recent video with the KSG and the Salvo shotgun suppressor.
Mm-hmm.
and he was shooting those mini slugs also, and I think he was shooting pretty close. I was shooting at 25 yards. I mean, I zeroed my red dot for 25. Just that's like the maximum I'd shoot. You know, it's definitely a home defense style weapon.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
you could hunt with that gun. I mean, no doubt about it. You could. Like,
Well, with the full barrel, I mean, if you
Yeah.
knew the manual of arms really well, it seems like it's conceivable that it could be accurate. I mean,
a full size slug out to 100 yards, I wouldn't doubt that they're very
Yeah.
accurate. A
Yeah.
full size slug, yeah. Because you're still shooting it out of an 18.5-inch barrel. That's the kind of the hard thing to wrap your head around is that you have
Right.
this short, complex or compact package. It's lightweight, man. It's under 7 pounds,
yeah, that's remarkable.
and it kicks like a mule though. That's the thing. It's not. I shouldn't say that. It's honestly, I shot about 100 rounds that day, mixed buckshot slugs, those mini slugs, and then regular birdshot loads.
That's a lot of shotgun shooting.
And I didn't even have a bruise on my shoulder. So, and I didn't use a recoil pad. I actually just added a recoil pad to it. So,
Okay, cool.
just to make it a little more comfortable, because those 2 3/4-inch slugs were beastly. I mean, it'll do 3-inch also. So,
Wow.
it'll shoot the 3-inch.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I definitely got to check out that video. I'm super intrigued about what you've been saying.
Yeah,
But,
I did. Like I said, I had those 2 failures to extract. I talked about it in the video, but I kind of edited them out just because I didn't want to have all that time on camera messing with it. You know what I mean?
Well, and the funny thing is, too, is even if it's a result of your firearm, you're going to have some damn troll roll in and be like, oh, look at you not being able to handle your firearm.
Exactly.
I'm so amused when I see that on, like, gun review videos where a guy operating the firearm is showing a failure, and then people comment and they blame the failure on him. Like that's how accustomed we are to bad design that, like, when that happens, we blame the user automatically. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, I blamed the ammo because it was cheap birdshot you buy at Walmart. You know what I mean?
oh, right on, sure, yeah, definitely.
I've had that stuff hang up in my Mossberg before, so
really well.
you know sometimes they just don't.
I can't remember the
extract.
last time I had a failure with shotguns, man. That's crazy.
If you shoot automatics, if you shoot semi-autos, frequent.
Yeah, well, semi-autos, yeah, that's true. I always
Pumps not normally. You don't usually have issues with pumps, but the KSG's a different design, the way it extracts, and the way so it's not as simple as like a Mossberg or a Remington 870 or something like that.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
more likely, but I mean, again, with the high brass loads, even those little. You think those little dudes, because the 870s and the 500s, they can't cycle those.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, I believe that.
They can shoot them, but they can't extract them. They have a hard time loading the next shell in.
Right.
The KSG just snags them right up, man.
That's amazing. That's so great.
They're fun. They're pretty expensive though. That's the only problem is that because they're kind of like a specialty ammo and they're a little more expensive. The guy that I bought the gun from, he runs an FFL out of his house, and he loads his KSG with rubber slugs, dude.
Wow.
Because one of the cool things about that gun is you have 2 tubes, and you can change from one tube to the next. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in what ammo.
If you had like a super cool head, you could be like, I can either hit you with a round or I can shoot you with like
Yeah, exactly.
something like that'd be one thing I would not want to hear as a robber. Like, oh hi, I've got a KSG. What would you like to be shot with today?
Your choice: buckshot or slugs. Or do you want a rubber slug so you might actually walk out of here alive?
Right.
Or but police officers use beanbag rounds. They have rubber slugs. I mean, there's all kinds of. So you have that versatility with a shotgun, and you could load a tube full of those rubber non-lethal ones, and then you could switch it in a second to the lethal rounds if necessary. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of on the fence about that whole thing. Like, I don't like the idea of a warning shot. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna shoot, you're gonna shoot. You know what I mean? And you're gonna put that.
No strategic value or self-defensive value, in my opinion.
Because if you shoot a guy with a rubber slug, let's say, it's gonna hurt like a mother.
Oh yeah.
And it may deter them, but it may not. They
Oh
may be
yeah,
like,
hell no, yeah.
"How you
Almost
jerk?
certainly
You
won't
shot
be
me."
consenting. I mean, my
Yeah.
experience of the kind of people that are going to try a robbery situation where there's even a possibility that people are present, like they're going to probably be on friggin', cocaine or speed, and they're not going to be an entity that you're going to be able to reckon with a whole lot. Um, so yeah, I mean, in general, I'm not in favor of less than lethal. I mean, when you're talking about a situation where it seems like escalation to deadly force is probable, then you might as well just take precautions for the worst. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
so
I was
uh,
watching this. I mean, granted, it was a TV show. Have you ever seen the show Justified?
I haven't. No, what is it? What network is it on?
It's on FX. It's a really really good show. I mean, it's awesome. It's about this U.S. Marshal and lives in Kentucky. But anyway, like this last episode, this guy, he's a pretty big dude. He got shot like 5 times, like point blank with like a .38 revolver, and he still like killed this lady, like strangled her to death, even though he got shot like point blank like 5 times because of the adrenaline and just because he was like hyped up. And
Right.
granted, it was a TV show, but it's like you've heard stories like that where guys that are on PCP or
For sure.
whatever, meth, whatever, that they take a lot of damage, So like that's why 12 gauges are considered, what you should use for home defense. I mean, that's a topic that's highly debatable because of your surroundings and stuff where you live, but
Yeah.
you can't deny the power of a 12 gauge. Like,
Oh yeah, no doubt,
you
no
just
doubt.
can't.
Yeah.
If
Not
you
a
want
second.
if you want to take someone out, I mean that's kind of
I
a
will
gun to deal
kill
with.
most people almost immediately, as long as you are a good shot and know how to
And
operate
see,
a firearm.
that's the point right there. Is people do have the misnomer that it's a shotgun, you won't miss anything. I actually read those exact words today. I was searching for because I have like a vertical grip on the KSG now that I just had laying around, just kind of because that's kind of to pump the action. It's kind of better to have something like a vertical grip or something on there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I was reading something. I was like, a Facebook is Keltec's Facebook, and it's like, what foregrip do you like best on your KSG or something like that? And people were responding, and no, it wasn't a foregrip. I'm sorry, it was sights. What flip up sights? Because it just comes with like a Picatinny rail on it. It doesn't really come with sights.
Okay.
And people were like commenting, and one guy's like, "Oh, you don't need sights. It's a shotgun. You'll just shoot it. You'll hit it."
That's so dumb. Like, why don't you just buy a tube, like, or build your own shotgun out of a PVC pipe and just like, like, you don't care about accuracy, like, give me a
No,
break.
I mean, especially like people don't realize
Great way
that.
to kill an innocent bystander to think that your gun doesn't need to be accurate. I mean, I don't have a tactical shotgun because I have too many little kids. And if there was ever some kind of like close combat defensive situation, I'd be pretty much fucked. But in the event of me having to fire a pistol or firearm, I would not want to even chance the possibility of there being someone in the crossfire. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
well,
don't feel like I don't feel like that's like something I'm totally confident about either. So like I pay attention to the different like home defense debates because it's basically a really bad situation, and your options are very limited.
yep.
Uh,
No, it is. I mean, it's a highly debatable subject, and people tend to always gravitate that you should use a shotgun. But
oh yeah, well, and I think that
I don't
conventional
think that's.
wisdom. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. I mean, yeah, go ahead. I think that there's some. I was just gonna say there's definitely like as far as the logic of the firearm goes, like for sure, yeah, definitely shotgun. Like as far as the kind of objective you'd be trying to obtain, a shotgun's gonna stop someone in the tracks by far the best. And there's also I mean, depending on the kind of round you're using, you might have less probability of going through drywall and stuff and other things it might be worth considering.
See, that's
Um,
that's that's the point. That's a good point of the whole debate is that people don't realize the penetration of rounds. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever gone to the website The Box of Truth?
I haven't. No, what is it?
go to the Box of Truth. It's like these two old guys. They run a website and they do some YouTube videos, and they basically just test like all kinds of stuff, penetration of rounds, like will it go through how many walls, and they basically did kind of home defense kind of series where they said, okay, shotgun, pistol, or rifle. And rifle, they chose the AR,
Right. Yeah.
And obviously shotgun rounds, and then pistol rounds tend to penetrate more than most rounds.
Yeah.
And you're limited with a pistol, like what kind of round you're going to use, right? Like you have, if let's say your choice is a 9mm, and you've got some hollow points, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's different style of hollow points, but pretty much they're going to be very similar trajectory, how they break up.
Yeah, sure, definitely, yeah.
With a shotgun, you have, like you mentioned, depending on the type of ammo, you have quite a few choices. Like you have, number 4 buckshot. A lot of people like number 4 because it's a little bit more pellets. They're smaller though than like double-aught buck. And there's triple-aught buck. And there's slugs. I mean, I wouldn't recommend slugs in home defense because those will penetrate your neighbor's wall. But but then they mentioned the AR-15. The AR-15 actually, depending on the ammo used, like when they used ball ammo, it penetrated like crazy because you'd expect that. Like it's kind of what it's designed to do, right? It's like battle. I mean.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but there's some certain types of ammunition, like the law enforcement use, frangible is the terminology, that it didn't even penetrate very many walls. So, like it shattered upon impact, like pretty crazy. So in soft tissue, it's designed to cause massive wound channels and stuff, but when it hits a hard surface like drywall or brick or concrete or something, it just fragments. So a lot of people will tell you that AR-15 is the best choice because of that, And so the point is, though, they're all good choices. Is the type of ammo is a huge part of that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If you're using ball rounds, like if you're just using your typical 9mm off the shelf stuff you'd shoot at the range, it's going to go through like 4 walls.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
That's what it's designed to do. A hollow point will penetrate less, expand more. And so. Right. Yeah, it all depends on your surroundings. I don't think there's a perfect answer for a blanket statement because it's going to depend on your layout of your house. Like you mentioned, you have little kids. You know what I mean? That goes into effect. How your house is laid out. If you have neighbors very close to you, you live in rural Iowa, right? Yeah. Is it pretty rural?
Yeah. It's rural where I'm living. Yeah, so
you may not have
about a round going into the neighbor's house.
Exactly. So you have a lot more options because of that. You know what I mean? Versus someone that lives in an apartment building or a condo where you have a house right next to you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's just one of those things you have to. And you mentioned a good point earlier. This wasn't a topic I was like trying to talk about, but I think it's
interesting.
Topic.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
You said, I'm not that comfortable with a shotgun, and more so are other words. Like, not that you haven't used a shotgun, but like in that type of scenario, you don't feel comfortable. A pistol, a handgun might be a better choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the same. I like shotguns. I feel comfortable using them. But one reason that I haven't really used a shotgun for home defense is because of the length and the size of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, for sure.
Where the KSG is compact that you can really maneuver around with that thing, around hallways, around door frames, pretty good. And I'm like, I could, I find it, I haven't adopted it as my home defense weapon yet just because I need to run a lot more rounds through it to make sure it's 100% reliable, doesn't have issues.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a really good choice because of its size. Like, it's not big and cumbersome,
Totally,
but, I was asking the guy I bought it from, I said, is your KSG your home defense? He's like, oh, it's one of them.
Right.
No, but there's some validity to that. I'm like, you know what? That's true. Like, it's one of mine, or it will be. Like, I use just one of my 9mm pistols as my first choice, really, because one-handed, you could shoot it one-handed.
Right.
If you had to like grab people, carry out one of your kids, it's gonna be hard to do that. But on the same note, I was watching Twang and Bang's video. Do you watch Twang and Bang?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's a great channel. He was setting up like a Remington 870, I think it was, for home defense, and he said one of the things that people tend to forget about and should have is a sling.
Mm-hmm.
And he demonstrated why. He's like, here's why you want a sling, because you can hang it, like, even though because you think about a handgun, you could throw it in your pants or, a holster or whatever. You know what I mean? If you had to, like, put it aside or something.
Right.
But typically, if you're riding around with a shotgun, you don't have a sling. What are you going to do with it? Like, it's just going to be in the way. With a sling, you can just, yeah, exactly. You can even, like, the way I like to use 2-point slings is, and you'll see that if you watch the KSG videos, I kind of just hang them right here. And then it's still accessible. But it's right in front of me. Someone really couldn't, like, pull it away from me. It's, you know what I mean? Like, that's another thing he mentioned in the video was, if you have a shotgun and let's say you go around a corner and a bad guy knows you're there and he grabs that gun, well, all of a sudden you have no sling. You're in this wrestling match, right? If it's attached to your body, it's a lot less likely that he's going to get that. You know what I mean? Because it's something that's attached to you. So there's a lot of things to think about like that. So if you're going to run an AR-15 or if you're going to run a shotgun for home defense, a sling is like absolute must-have thing to have because of those kind of reasons right there. So
that's really interesting. Yeah, that's awesome. That's very interesting stuff. I mean, it just goes to show how complex it is compared to, like, recreational shooting. How, I think it's very easy to slip into the recreational shooter's mindset of, like, I've got my gun in the bag, so everything's good, like I can get ammo at the range and blah blah blah. But if you're really being serious about fortifying your home and being prepared for a situation where you're going to have to act largely on, probably I'm not trained enough where I could act on instinct, so I have to work on basically the little system that I'm very familiar with. And
yeah, most of us aren't trained. That's the thing, man. Like, we're mostly recreational shooters. Every YouTube commando out there is probably going to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing, But how many of those people have actually received training,
Yeah, right. And especially tactical training. Like, it seems like, if I was going to spend money right now, I would spend money on being a better shooter. Like, that's the kind of thing I would want to work on. Not necessarily, close quarters combat or something. And mostly that's because that's mostly the application. My application is shooting. And so, so to really, it's a very in-depth topic, talking about home defense. And I think that the best thing you can do is do a lot of the stuff that isn't even weaponized. Have good lighting, have good relationship with your neighbors. Have a dog if you can talk your wife into it. Which I'm still working on. Damn it!
I've got 3 at my house right now. 3.
Oh man,
we're dog sitting. No, we're dog sitting. Okay. I have 2. I do have 2 normally. So.
Which breeds do you have now?
I have a lab.
Okay.
A labradoodle, which is a mix of a lab and a poodle, a standard poodle. And right now.
High energy, huh?
No, you know what? He is chill.
Oh, really? Wow, that's awesome.
He's only a puppy. So okay. He'll go out in the yard and run around and have fun, but he's pretty, like, chill dog. He's a really good dog. Their breed is awesome because you're basically taking the best of both worlds. Standard poodles don't shed.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a more human-like hair than a regular dog, and you got the demeanor of a lab. You know what I mean? Right. So like you're mixing these 2 breeds, and you're making and they're now AKC certified breeds. So
really interesting.
They're a really cool breed dog. And the other one we have here with us now is a lab border collie mix.
Okay.
So he's my sister's dog, and he's kind of a pain. He's barking all the dang time. And
collies are barky. They're friendly. Yeah. They're very affectionate. But, yeah.
He's a dog. He's just a barker. So like but that's a very, very valid point that some people like are so like, oh, I'm so set for home defense. I've got my 12 gauge and my Glock and my AR-15 right by my bed. I'm good to go, and they're all their windows don't have locks on them, and they don't even have a deadbolt, like basic things that would deter a thief, dogs.
Right.
some sort of like alarm system if necessary. I don't feel like I need an alarm because I have 2 dogs, you know. And my lab, he never barks unless someone comes to the home and he's barking. And he's got one of those deep, dark, like just sounds like he's a mean dog. He's not. He's not
That's great.
But he sounds that way, you know. So and he's like an alarm system, man. He'll be like, "Look, someone's at the house." If he's barking, we know someone is at the house, and that's kind of like an alert thing. Like someone's here. Are they welcome? Are they just someone we know? You know what I mean? Like you just kind of have that. So like in the middle of the night, if he starts barking, then I know something's probably up. You know, so I'm gonna be on alert status. I'm gonna be ready. Status. That sounds cheesy, but I'm gonna be alert. That's the way it is. Yeah. I'm gonna be alert, and I'm gonna think, okay, this could possibly be a situation. You know what I mean? Let's take it one step at a time. So
yeah, get out of bed at least. You know.
Yeah, and so I mean, one of the big things is having a plan. You know, and like you said, you can do all this stuff without the weapons.
Yeah.
You know.
And you should, like, I mean, because that's the thing is, I mean, if you're smart about everything else, it will never escalate to that kind of situation, because what kind of guy's going to break into a house where all the lights are on, you've got a dog barking at him, and there's an alarm going off? Like, you've already failed your objective if, as a robber, if those things are happening, like...
I gotta tell you a story. I think I've told it on the chat before, but man, it kills me. There was a home invasion, and there's not a lot of home invasions that happen here because everyone's a gun owner.
Yeah, right. It's the way it is here in rural Iowa. Like the only things that ever get robbed are people's garages, and it's when they're not home. Like, I mean.
Yeah, and if there is robberies, it's gonna be when no one's home. Like someone's on vacation for a week, and someone knows about it, and they come home and their house has been robbed. Yeah, that's more likely. So there was one. It was a home invasion in, oh man, it's been probably 2 years ago, but in a nice neighborhood, nice area too, you know. And this guy, his wife, are in their, in their house, and they hear like commotion going on in the kitchen, you know. So the dad goes down with a gun, and there is an intruder in their home eating a sandwich.
Was it like Samuel L. Jackson or something, like in Pulp Fiction? Cause
seriously, like the guy said, "Man, I'm gonna break into this house and make myself a sandwich. I'm hungry." Well, guess what? That guy's dead. That guy got shot, man. That sandwich cost him his life.
That's the funniest thing ever.
Because the guy, the homeowner's like, "What the fuck? You're in my house."
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Shot him. And he was every right to do it because we have the castle.
Utah.
Yeah, we have castle country, man. I mean, breaks your house. So this guy, they found out this guy had broken into a few people's houses.
I cannot even believe that story. I've definitely not heard that before.
Yeah, it was on the news and everything. Like he said,
that makes my head hurt. That's ridiculous.
I'm gonna make a sandwich, like ham and cheese or something, man. It's like what
the hell?
He was obviously. It's the whole point of like he was on drugs or he was not in his right mind because what the heck? Sandwich.
That's like it's I've got a couple brothers and they know like where like I have some ways to access the house, but I've told them like multiple times like if you decide to surprise me with a visit, do not come in if we're in bed already. Like, you have to call. Because I'm like, I do not like want to come down and like have some big guy in my kitchen, and I'm like, who are you? like, shoot my brother in the back or something just because he's like screwing around. Like, oh.
Yeah. No, that's yeah.
That's a great story though. That's epic.
It is pretty funny. So that's actually a good transition. We'll come back to smartwatches just because we're talking about home invasions and
being brilliant.
Yeah. So there's a couple stories.
What are you looking at right now? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm looking at a article here that I wanted to post. I posted it into my Facebook page just so I remembered. There was a shooting in Philadelphia. in a barber shop. I guess some argument broke out, and some dude like pulls out his gun and starts freaking opening fire in this barbershop. Like, oh, I'm crazy. You screwed up my haircut. I'm gonna start shooting people. Like, I don't know how it escalated, but a concealed carry holder in the shop put him down like before he could do any damage.
Okay.
But he got some shots off, and I'm like, geez, in the barbershop? Like, don't you just kind of picture a barbershop being like a place where a bunch of guys that know each other go hang out?
Really a chill place. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't get more chill than a barbershop. Like,
Yeah. So maybe this is one of those gangster barbershops. I don't know, but you know, so he opened up fire, but like there was a lot of people. There was women and children inside.
oh my
Like,
gosh.
it could have been really bad because this guy just started shooting at like random people. Like he just started shooting.
That's
So
disgusting.
the point was, if there wasn't a concealed carry holder in the barbershop at that moment, it could have been like a bloody like massacre, man. Like,
Yeah,
it could have
right.
been
Yeah,
really bad. So, another story right there, like I put on my thing, this is why we carry,
Right,
and
for sure, yeah.
that's why, that was the story. I thought, man, that really hit home. So another one, same reason, I put the same kind of thing on it. That's why we carry. It happened local here in Salt Lake City. And this is kind of a separate topic too, because the media really tried really hard to like sell it. You know what I mean? Like, they put shocking video, and all this stuff. So I'm like, what? This happened in Salt Lake? So it said, man with gun holds criminal at gunpoint.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was like one of those videos where it was hilarious because it was obvious that like at least I think it was you who I saw the article with, and what it was obvious that the media was framing it as the opposite of what actually happened. Like, a man is stopping a criminal, and it's shocking that, I mean, we should be shocked that this man has utilized his wherewithal to prevent a crime. Like,
So if you watch the video though, everyone, because all the comments are like, what the heck's shocking about this? Like, the guy,
right. Yeah.
no one got hurt. No one got hurt. The guy held him at gunpoint until the cops came. The cops didn't freak out that the guy had a gun. They just kind of like said, please step back.
Cops were super cool. That was the thing that was awesome about the video. Was shocking to me. Is like, oh, everyone who's bitching about the cops all the time now, like, look at these guys, professionals. Like, they recognize that a citizen's doing something that is, mutually beneficial. Like,
yeah, so there's a little bit more behind that story. The concealed carry holder is a former police officer. He's like retired.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, well, that makes it a little more okay. That makes it.
Yeah, but
the cops were like all like not. They're like, there's like one guy eating a donut and another guy like taking a nap in his squad car.
Right. Yeah. No, but even that, the guy was on the phone the entire time with 911 and said, I have a firearm. I'm holding this guy, at gunpoint. So like when the cops came, they didn't like think he was the bad guy. Like, hey, this guy's got a gun.
Yeah. Right.
Like, they did handle the situation. Even though he's a retired police officer, they still, even if that would have been a concealed carry holder, like whoever, the fact that they handled the situation. I mean, it was like textbooks how you'd handle the situation. So what happened, like previous, they don't really see in the video, is the guy that was on the ground had a knife. And it sucks for him because his bike got stolen by these other people that you kind of see in the background in the video. And so he was confronting these people about stealing his property. And apparently this retired police officer was there for some, in the area or whatever, and saw the knife being pulled out and, a deadly weapon. And that's why he acted the way he did, and he just held him at gunpoint until the police came. You can see the knife on the ground, actually, if you look close enough. So,
interesting.
So, the whole situation was like shocking footage. It's like nothing was shocking about that. That was like how it should.
To me, how these this is my opinion, is that you're seeing this happening on a number of right now. Like, I mean, not this is getting off topic, but like what happened with Indiana with that pizza business is like an excellent example of how small media tries to spin stories to get the attention of big media. And by calling it shocking footage, maybe some guy at CNN is going to watch like what's going on and think like, okay, yeah, maybe we should front page this thing. And it's obviously just pandering to I mean the masses in a way that's completely. I mean, news agencies just been pissing me off like a lot lately.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean that's how Ferguson got out of control, because
Oh right, yeah,
he
yeah,
got
yeah.
passed over, and no, I mean that's the thing, that news that covered that, they're not usually like that. I was kind of like, what the heck? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Are ratings really low that you're throwing this up on the internet, like
yeah, right.
shocking footage, like
It's so funny.
because
Uh,
it made you think like some guy attacked him and he pulled out his gun and like he saw the whole thing go down, and that's not at all how it was. It was him standing there holding him by gunpoint.
yeah,
And,
I mean,
the guy cooperated with cops like the criminal did. Like everyone
yeah,
was like, it was a chill like situation, not.
yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I have a feeling that, I mean, uh, I mean, I would be interested in if I had like infinite money, I would like create a website that just highlights situations like that where there wouldn't be a media source that's aggregating those kind of stories, but you could go to one place where you could see like these kind of situations that have de-escalated, and as a result of cooperation with law enforcement and also law enforcement handling themselves properly. Like those are, it would be interesting to get just like a huge data set of videos and reports and stuff of that happening. And I don't know, maybe there is something like that out there, but I've
Well,
thought a
yeah,
lot.
there is. There's a couple sites that I think most of these articles come from that I see is I think one of them is National Association for Gun Rights. There's a couple of, but they're I don't know if they're like Facebook pages or they're national, but that's the problem, is they'll never hit the mainstream media because they don't paint guns in a bad way. They don't have an agenda behind them. They actually paint them in a good, like exactly what they should be doing. And again, both those stories though, like if there hadn't been a concealed carry holder on the scene, both of those could have been deadly. That guy could have stabbed that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And the other one, multiple people could have been shot. But again, national media is not going to report on that crap because it's not going to meet their agenda.
It's not gonna get the ratings that they need to get in order for it to be a successful story. Um,
Exactly.
but well, let's talk watches real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap things up because I should be in bed in 20 minutes or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So are you still checking out fitness watches right now, or?
Yeah, I'm looking at the smartwatches, the Android based ones.
Okay.
And that's a good point. They do have fitness applications. Obviously, they have like I think they have like some apps that will keep you track of your steps, like a pedometer. Some that will like. I think
Yeah,
the sound.
I said fitness watches just because I'm looking at fitness watches right now, and so I didn't mean to like imply something.
Oh,
Sorry,
it's all
it's
good.
awkward.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm looking at a Job 124 right now, pretty hard, and my wife thinks that I'm stupid for looking at a fitness band thing myself, but that's actually the like tech watch that's more interesting to me at this point because I'm always going to wear a regular watch, but I might be able to if I can like find. I'm basically right in the middle of looking at a bunch of different options of like which one's basically the most discreet. Like, is there one that I could wear on my belt or like put on a shoe or something that wouldn't. I mean, I've been kind of overwhelmed with the options. And for me, the thing that's kind of interesting is going to be like I don't really know my sleep patterns very well at all. I mean, I kind of roughly know like when I go to bed and when I get up, but like I have no idea how many times I wake up at night. So like that's one thing that I'm really interested in. And um, I mean, I have a standing desk at work, which has been really good for helping me feel like I used to really bottom out big time at work when I had just a regular chair, and so I had to get up regularly, or else I'd get like really lethargic. But now that I have a standing desk, the thing that's key is to still get up and walk, or to step away from the desk and walk around. I also get really stiff. Um, So I'm kind of looking at watches or fitness trackers, I guess, that will give me some of those notifications so that I'm like reminded to do that kind of thing. But well, I guess what kind of applications are you looking for with a smartwatch that I mean are going to be what are the features you want the most?
Well, I mean, that's actually part of it. A lot of them do similar things, like they'll have apps. Like Samsung has that S Health stuff. I had that on my Galaxy phone,
Hmm.
and it like track. You could actually, I actually use it quite often when I go exercise, because it would track how many miles you went. How all based on GPS coordinates.
Right on,
Um,
yeah.
how many calories you burn, stuff like that. So there's a lot of applications there. Um, but what I like about because the apps are pretty limited, I think. Like even on the Apple Watch versus like what's been out for Android and stuff, and there's people
Right,
developing them for. But obviously, watches and EDC is kind of the topic.
right.
What do we use what do I use my Seiko here for? Well, I tell the time with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same
Like
with mine. Same Seiko also tells the time. Like
yeah,
same
exactly.
deal.
Time and date, and that's pretty much the function of your watch.
Yep.
Well, what's cool about the smartwatches, in my opinion, is one thing I mentioned before is customization. So you can
Right.
change the face, and do that kind of fun stuff. But you have GPS built into it, so
Yeah.
a lot of like I have like a G-Shock that has a compass built in.
Right.
And I'm thinking, man, if you're out in the wilderness, or if you get lost somewhere, or let's call it
Just a
a
part of town you're not familiar with.
yeah, you have GPS. Like, yeah, you'll have it on your phone too, but what if your phone battery's dead? Or, you know what I mean? Okay, well, you have this
Yeah.
separate battery here. You could use that for direction or whatever. So that's one thing that's cool about them. But I've been trying to wrap my head around, like, what other applications would there be? Like, you know what I mean, for EDC type role, or what else could they do with it? What they haven't done already, because the fitness thing is obviously a big part of it.
Yeah, no, it's a good question, but I mean, the fitness thing is, I have a feeling the fitness thing is going to be interesting enough and popular enough that, like, a lot of I have a few different like gear and outdoor related websites that I follow, and like Outdoor Online had an article recently how they think that the fitness trackers are going to actually go from being wearable to invisible, like they're going to like get smaller and get more hidden, and that sort of makes sense to me, right? Like if I could just like, you know, clip something to my belt or my sock or whatever, and like forget that it's there, like, and it has a battery life of a bazillion hours. Well, yeah, I would prefer that than another rubber band on my wrist. Um, I mean, as far as like the higher end, like taking a look at the Apple Watch, like for me, I think one of the things that could conceivably be appealing to me about it, and I'm not sold on the Apple Watch at all, even though I'm very interested in it. Um, is it seems like if it's done right, and I'm not convinced that it is, it could be a lot more seamless form of communicating, um, both with the information that you'd be looking to get, and also communicating with people. So, like for example, um, I mean, we've all done the awkward pull your phone and respond to a text when you're like having a meal with somebody, or or like are standing in line or something, and it's conceivable to me that you could do something like have quick replies on to a text message on your watch that basically is as quick as you know adjusting a setting or something as you would on a G-Shock, and that could be quite a bit more efficient. Other
Yeah.
thing, I mean, I'm trying to think about other things like, um, I mean, it's not important to me, but I know, I mean, I know certain types of business where you're going to be needing to be notified about things right away. So like, if I needed to have my emails pushed to me, for example, like I wouldn't want my phone buzzing all the time, but like maybe something on my wrist letting me know that I got an email from so and so, and I'd be able to like decide if I want to read it right then and there. Like I could see why that would. Um,
No, those are all good things. I just wonder, what else they're gonna do with them. Like, what else could they do? Like that your phone can do. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like
that's
one thing that is so kind of paradoxical to me is like large screen size has like proven to be like a very desirable feature across the board. Period. With phones, like my next phone is definitely going to be the whatever 6 Plus. I've got the 5S or what I don't know what the hell all the numbers are, but I'm gonna get the big iPhone next time,
yeah.
and like for all the reasons that kind of the phablets are popular because they actually present a lot of versatility, and I mean a lot of people are doing media on their phones too. Like I don't think media on a watch is ever going to be very interesting. Like who's going to watch a YouTube video, or who's even going to want to talk to someone on their wrist? Like do you really think that you're going to like see people doing this? Like, oh hi mom, yeah, like I'm just in line at the grocery store, or whatever, like, or I mean, or like, are you going to take pictures with your watch? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to want to listen to music on my watch, and I mean, unless like there's like some sort of like wireless, application with wireless earbuds or something. I mean,
No,
and
but
the other,
you
yeah, go ahead.
can just at that point that you can actually control your phone with your watch. So like if
Yeah,
you're so let's say you have your phone in your pocket and you're out running or you're just walking and you don't want to pull your phone out to change a
yeah,
song or whatever,
yeah,
you can just go like this. Like you can swipe on your watch and it'll
yeah,
it's a convenience thing. It's not really like
yeah.
that's a necessity, but it's a cool thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's
Well,
kind of cool.
and I think it's interesting, like the convenience component or like the novelty component. I mean, because they're closely connected. Because it's like a convenience that you didn't know that you could be. That was. It's a convenience you didn't feel like you needed before these things existed. Um, the it's only going to appeal to people who don't already have something going on their wrists. Like for me, the essential thing of being able to have a reliable time telling object that I mean, like one of the reasons why I really like mechanical watches is because there's the fail safes are completely internal. Like the battery never runs out. You're never going to have issues with the watch breaking. I mean, under normal conditions at all. And so having that extremely reliable time telling device is like great because I mean even well I have an Apple phone so it's always dying. The battery's always dying or whatever. And whatever. I mean, you might not always be around the clock, and so for me, my real estate on my wrist is like valuable, and so the prospect of just giving it up because I can control my thongs more or something, or because some fool wants to send me their heartbeat, like I'm not really, I don't care about that at all,
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's you haven't seen them like pop up much in I think in our realm. Like I haven't seen it on Instagram. I see a lot of guys posting nice, pictures of watches and stuff, and they're typical like, Seikos or their, you
yeah,
know, whatever automatic watch, whatever brand, and you don't see too many be like, hey, look at my new Android watch or my new iPhone watch. You know what I mean? It's part of my EDC. Like I don't know. Like I'm curious if it's gonna make a push or if it's gonna be something that's got a really small niche market in the tech world. Because not all
I think that
technology.
it'll.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean not. The thing that I think that Apple for sure is gunning to make this like a ubiquitous object. I mean they always do that with their stuff. Like pitching it very similar to how they pitched the iPad. Like this is the new thing that everyone's going to have. And I mean, I it's I could imagine it becoming. I mean, traditional wristwatches are definitely not popular in a way that people are going to be like, oh, well, I don't want to wear my Timex anymore because I mean, just most people aren't into watches in a way that they look at the Apple Watch as competition, which is definitely how I look at it. I definitely look at it as like, this is competition for something else that I already am using. Um,
Yeah.
and, but I mean, I don't know, like, I could, one thing that I would like to see maybe the Apple Watch sort of technology is I'd like to see like a highly evolved version of the G-Shock, like one that has like a robust walkie-talkie that has like, I don't know, like say like 100-mile range, and like has like dedicated satellite GPS features, and like would be like a survival Apple Watch. Like, imagine something like that, where like, Breitling has a watch where there's it's called the Breitling Emergency. Has basically a signaling device for in the event of getting like stranded at sea or something. You can deploy this radio signal, and it'll notify the Coast Guard. Well, like, it's a very cool feature on a Breitling, but I mean, you're talking about a $3,000 watch, and like, if you had like what would happen if like Leatherman and Seiko got together and made a smartwatch? Like, what would it look like? Like, that's one thing I've wondered about.
Yeah.
And what kind of features would they really think are key? But
yeah, no, that would be a cool application, I think, and probably more something that would appeal to like the EDC crowd. You know what I mean? The EDC scene, and more so than like these standard ones. Because
I mean, to me, the guys. Let's talk about EDC guys and their watches. Like you've got one set of guys who, on the real high end, they just have luxury watches because they have luxury goods, right? Like the guys with their Tom Mayos and their whatever, Mont Blanc, fountain pens. Like, they're gonna have a Rolex or an Omega anyway. And then you've got people more like us, where it's kind of a combination of like, oh, hey, I'm an enthusiast. I like these certain brands. I like this range of price range of watches. Some of them are more useful than others. But like, I'd say probably the rest. I'd say easily the remaining 50% or something, of the EDC guys, like, they're wearing G-Shocks. Like, I see a lot of G-Shocks, and a lot of Casios and. Basic, a lot of people like the digital features, and so yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to interface with the rest of the EDC community.
Well, you think that by now that one of these watch or phone manufacturers would have come up with some sort of solar powered like.
Oh, I know, option. Yeah. Right, yeah, well, that's the thing that's so stupid. I mean, that's the thing, it's unimaginable to me to have a watch that only has a power reserve for less than a day. I mean, that's like really something that I think would be difficult for a watch person. Like, as I've been like, getting ready to, I'll probably be doing an Apple Watch review. I'll probably be buying one, and been looking into the features, and which, there's a bunch of different price ranges that you can get and stuff, and like the more time I spend looking into it, the more I'm like, I'm just gonna buy the cheapest one I can get, because I have a feeling that whatever extra money I spend, I'm not gonna be happy with the fact that I put money into it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the fact that I have to pay $150 more for a stainless steel version versus an aluminum is like, it seems like that's kind of, unless that was absolutely going to be my primary watch, like, there's no reason why I would want to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is a good point. The battery life is very poor on all these watches. Like, it's not even a day most of the time.
I don't get, like, this is the thing I don't understand is, like, how do we have all these advancements in, like, for example, screen technology, and, like, why is battery technology still so, like, behind? I mean, I don't know. Is it? I mean,
no, it's not. It's there. It's just a matter of the manufacturers don't want you to have a battery that lasts 3 days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they can't sell their car charger and their extra health charger and their extra battery. Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Definitely, it's true with Apple that you can't even replace a battery in your phones. Like, that's an obvious design choice. Yeah.
Samsung's going that way now with their new.
Oh, are they really? Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
The new S6 will be out like in a week or so. And
you can't replace a battery on that? That's crazy. Nope. I haven't even looked into it.
And you can't add memory like you can on most Android phones.
Oh my gosh! No, like, micro SD ports or anything?
No, it's pretty much an iPhone. But so
all these consumer whores who are just gonna buy it, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
It's drives me crazy.
I just recently had to get a new phone because I lost my phone. I lost the service, with my company.
Right. Yeah.
And that was one of the ones I was looking really hard at because I had to get S5, and I was like, they took everything that why people buy Android over an iPhone, and they removed it. Then what the heck? Like, I like to have the option to add. I don't really care so much about the battery. I don't like carry around a spare battery or anything crazy like that. But
Yeah.
I do about the memory, because there are so many times my wife has an iPhone. She has for last 2 years. She just got the new iPhone 6, and she only gets like the 16 gig version just because it's cheaper. I'm like, well, you're constantly having to delete stuff. Like,
Holy shit, that's the most annoying thing ever. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean to like rant, but like every single video I make, I have to delete apps and reinstall apps. Like, I'm not talking like some videos. Like every single video, I'm deleting apps, and I have like maybe a couple hundred pictures and videos on my phone at the very most. Like, I'm talking like 10 videos and maybe a couple hundred pictures. And like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's anyway. Yeah, 16 gigs is I cannot even handle it. Like,
Yeah.
I turn into a whiny
So-
fool when I start talking about memory on.
Yeah. So what do you got to do? You got to pay more for the 32 gig and the 64 gig.
And
And
you
it's
pay
like a
out the
lot more.
ass. Like, it's a lot
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
So for me, it's like I stuck with when I got my phone. I got the LG G3 because it's still got the replaceable battery, it's still got the memory card, and it's got a quad HD screen, and it's got it's 5 and a. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
can
a
see you.
5.5 inch screen, but it's about the same size as the S5 because it doesn't have any bezels, because they put the power button and the volume on the back right
Oh,
here.
interesting, huh?
It's actually really intuitive, and this phone's kind of been out a little bit, and it won Smartphone of the Year last year, and it's got an amazing camera. Like, it's just, for me, it was kind of like, well, I don't think the new S6 really offers me anything that I want. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna wait around for it. So I got this one. And the battery life on this thing's crazy. It's like, what is it? It's almost 10. It's almost 10 o'clock here, and I have 40% battery.
Wow.
And I've been using my phone all day. Like, it's not like I haven't been touching my phone. I use it for a lot of stuff. I get about 5 to 6 hours of screen time a day on it.
That's
When
awesome.
so it's got a good battery, So that was kind of
I've done absolutely nothing on my phone today except post a couple pictures on Instagram and check my email. 48%. That's like so par for the course.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So it's I've done a lot. I just mess around my phone all the time, so it's pretty good stuff. So anyway, not to rant off on that subject.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy. I mean, I think that that might be that's one thing that's very interesting to talk about. Secondary utility with watches, like these smartwatches, is if they're keep building these phones the direction that they are, it might become unwieldy to like pull your phone out like for every notification or for everything that you're checking up on. And it's kind of like, especially for women, like if your phone's in your purse or something, like maybe it would be a lot easier for you to just have the watch that you're checking up on or whatever.
No, there's definitely some usefulness behind it. It's definitely not a necessity. It's more of
It's a first world problem, 100%. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
let's be honest. Like, this is like pretty spoiled brat material, where like you need an accessory for your whatever $300 accessory that like. I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
But
No, I
it's
gotcha.
funny.
I gotcha. All right, let's wrap it up for tonight. It's getting late for both of us, and I'm gonna start having to go back to like the office and stuff this next week. So.
Oh man, yeah. Best wishes with that. I hope it goes great.
Yeah, I should. I'm excited about it.
Who we got around still? Anybody?
Kelly Parks, Dan Speedcube, not familiar with that one. Elijah Corliss, Britt Head. These are a lot of people I've actually never heard before, so that's cool. Skywarp 41, he's Trunkback Jim, and Hawaii Volcano Squad just came by. He said the E2M chat ended. Thought I'd catch the tail end here, and you did just catch the tail end. We're actually wrapping it up, so. But it will be posted on my channel for you to watch tomorrow. So thanks everyone for stopping by.
Yeah.
And we will probably plan on next week.
That sounds great.
All right, man. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, take care.